All right, good. 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 All right, good.
Texas local storm report from 4 miles northeast of Bayview in Cameron County, Texas. Non-thunderstorm wind gust
Testing.
magnitude measured 67 miles per hour.
Texas
Reported by
local
ISOS.
storm report from 4
Additional
miles
information,
northeast of Bayview in
recorded at the
Cameron
Cameron County
County,
Airport.
Texas. Non-thunderstorm wind gust magnitude measured 67 miles per hour. Reported by ASOS. Additional information, recorded at the Cameron County Airport.
Testing. All right, I think y'all might be able to hear me now. Assuming so, if my audio meter's moving, I really don't know what that was about. My apologies, that's never happened before. That wasn't me being muted. That wasn't me being, just forgetting to unmute. It was actually something messed up with the audio. That was very interesting. All right, let's try that again. It is the 8th of January, 2024. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Building-in-Chief David Reimer. We have our first tornado warning of the day. This is going to be for a storm just south of Cold Spring, north of Cleveland. This tornado warning is for northeastern Montgomery County, southwestern San Jacinto County, and southwestern Polk County in southeast Texas until 2/17. Now have reports this is a confirmed tornado, so I was going to look statewide. Let's just go ahead and pop on in and deal with the high-res radar. Again, this is now apparently a confirmed tornado. We're going to switch to a terminal Doppler weather radar. It's very close. Maybe not. We'll use the Houston radar. Again, this is going to be a tornado warning until 2:45 p.m. A tornado that has now been confirmed by a weather spotter near Cold Spring or 12 miles southwest of Livingston, moving northeast at a very brisk 55 miles per hour. Let me turn off that. And this tornado warning does include Cold Spring. Let me kill those tracks. My apologies. In the cold season, sometimes we have to lower the threshold for that, and clearly it doesn't work out super duper well. There we go. All right, so a confirmed tornado reported now near Cold Spring, moving northeast towards the city of Livingston. This storm moving northeast at 45 to 55 miles per hour. This tornado warning does include, by definition, Shepherd, Goodrich, Cold Spring, and Livingston. If you are in Livingston, Cold Spring, Goodrich, and Shepherd, these are going to be in the counties of Montgomery, San Jacinto, and Polk. You need to take your tornado safety precautions. That's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes and a helmet. Again, this is moving northeast at about 55 miles per hour. You don't need to be trying to go outside and look for this thing. It's simply not going to work out well. Switching over to the which way the wind's blowing mode, you can see this thunderstorm does have a decent low-level circulation. Red's moving away from the radar down in Houston at about 45 miles an hour. Wind's moving towards the radar at about 20. So it's not a super duper scary spinny doom signature, but we do have confirmed reports from spotters on the ground that there is a tornado in progress. So this thunderstorm, this tornado, likely now crossing over or very near Highway 190, just southeast of Cold Spring. If you're in Goodrich up to the city of Livingston, you need to take your tornado safety precautions. That's lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We have a severe thunderstorm back near Gonzales, capable of producing tennis ball size hail. That's going to be the main line of thunderstorms that'll be moving east towards the Houston metro over the next few hours. But in terms of the highest threat for tornadoes, it's going to be these individual storms out ahead of that line of storms. If you watched the video yesterday or this morning, I talked about the conditional threat for a significant severe weather issue, including tornadoes, if we were able to get a destabilization of the low levels of the atmosphere inland. Well, clearly we have, because we just had a tornado near Cold Spring. So now we're definitely going to be watching every one of these little beans on radar ahead of this line of storms as it moves. As individual storms move to the northeast, this line moves east. Any one of these little beans at this point need to be watched for signs of low-level rotation, because we clearly now have proof that, indeed, we do have enough low-level destabilization for tornado genesis. So this thunderstorm northeast of New Waverly showing signs of rotation. This thunderstorm just southeast of Cold Spring apparently has confirmed reports of a tornado. I'd be happy to let you know more than that, but we're not an NWS chat anymore. Yay, great. Thanks, government bureaucracy, for your garbage, but that's a national decision, not a local decision. But hey, you know what? I guess they really don't care about getting the word out to folks all that much. In terms of us, we're here for you. So let's go ahead, keep on taking a look. This thunderstorm moving northeast towards Livingston.
Texas local storm report from 6 miles south of Cold Spring in San Jacinto County, Texas. Tornado. Reported by trained spotter. Additional information, spotter reported a tornado on the ground near Cold Spring, TX.
Texas
All right, so
local
that was a
storm
local
report
storm
from
report.
6
That
miles
just
south of
confirms the
Cold
spotted
Spring in
report of
San
a tornado
Jacinto
near Cold
County,
Spring. I don't know if you can hear
Texas.
that or not.
Tornado. Reported by trains.
I'm going to mute that. I'm going to turn that audio down on the stream. All right. So I just turned that down. So it should still actually audibly play, but I turned it down. All right, let's read this. At 2:22 p.m., a confirmed tornado was located near Lake Livingston State Park, moving northeast at 50. Spotters reported a tornado near Lower Van Road and Farm to Market 2025. This tornado will be near Livingston at 2:30 p.m. So if you're in the city of Livingston, you need to take your tornado safety precautions. Confirmed tornado near the lakes and the state park. The storm moving northeast at 45 to 55 miles an hour, going to be near the city of Livingston at 2:30 p.m., so less than 10 minutes. At this point, this is the only tornado warning we have. We have plenty of thunderstorms, mind you, and the storms back southwest towards Gonzales have hail, but at this point, we are focusing on the most impactful life-threatening storms, and those are those with tornado warnings. This thunderstorm that is northwest of Cold Spring, not tornado warned right now, but it is showing a decent mid-level circulation, and is certainly concerning enough for the potential that we need to watch it carefully in case it spins up further and is able to produce a tornado. So again, if you are in the city of Livingston in southeast Texas, you need to take your tornado safety precautions. A tornado has been confirmed southwest of town, moving northeast at 45 to 55 miles per hour. Those of you in the city of Livingston, again, call to action. Tornado southwest of town, moving northeast, has been confirmed by weather spotters. Northeast of Cold Spring near Lake Livingston State Park, moving towards Livingston. Highway 59 and Goodridge, you need to take your tornado safety precautions. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We do have a blizzard underway in the Texas Panhandle. We'll take a quick look at that. We've got winds up here gusting over 60 to 65 miles an hour. We've got road closures. I-40 is closed near the New Mexico state line. Pretty much every state or U.S. highway up in the northern panhandle and the Oklahoma panhandle is closed due to blizzard conditions. Don't bother trying to travel. It's not going to be fun. But we do have live storm chasing video from up there. You can go watch that on the Texas Storm Chasers YouTube channel or on the Texas Storm Chasers website mobile app. Just go to the video tab there, and we do have video from Adam Lucio, Chelsea Burnett, and Stephen Jones. But back to the tornado coverage. Let me press some buttons here. And again, the only tornado warning we have right now is for this thunderstorm that has produced a tornado near Lake Livingston State Park, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour towards the city of Livingston. We're also watching indications of rotation increasing west-northwest of Cold Spring, southwest of Point Blank. That, at this point, is not tornado warning, but we're going to watch it just in case. I'm going to look at some of my other data here to make sure I'm not missing anything. We've got a severe thunderstorm near Saturn, southwest of Flatonia on Interstate 10 between San Antonio and Houston. That storm could have golf ball to tennis ball size hail as it moves east at about 45 miles an hour. Otherwise, the only tornado warning we have again is this thunderstorm southwest of Livingston, east of Cold Spring, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Spotters have recently confirmed a tornado with this thunderstorm. For those asking about the Texas Storm Chasers Discord channel, that was discontinued back in December. We'll have a new product out in the next month or so to replace that, so keep an eye out for news. We'll have that announcement on the Texas Storm Chasers website, so make sure you've got that bookmarked. We actually do have notifications for the website and our mobile app you can use as well. But for those of you asking about the Discord, it was discontinued back in December. We do have a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado moving towards the city of Livingston and Goodridge. This is going to stay south of New Willard, south of Seven Oaks and south of Onalaska and Point Blank. If you remember the EF3 tornado back in 2020, I believe, it was the same day we had stuff in southern Oklahoma. I believe it was April. The EF3 that tracked across the lake and then across 59 near Seven Oaks and New Willard. This is probably a good 10 miles south of where that happened. But we're going to have to keep an eye out for this storm southeast of Oakhurst and Point Blank in case that intensifies. We do have a new tornado warning now. You'll hear that in just a minute from the announcer lady. 2:28 p.m., a thunderstorm with a history of producing a tornado was located near Lake Livingston State Park.
Tornado warning for Central.
I'm just going to let the lady tell you.
Until 0245 p.m. CST. At 0228 p.m. CST, a thunderstorm with a history of producing a spotted confirmed tornado was located near Lake Livingston State Park, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. The tornado will be near Livingston and northeast and west Livingston around 0235 p.m. CST.
All right, so again, now we have a confirmed tornado, or a storm with a history of producing confirmed tornadoes. Jason, let me know how the audio alert is for that, volume-wise now. Livingston, this tornado includes Livingston. Tornado warning, I should say, includes New Willard, Goodrich, and this tornado warning runs through 2:45 p.m. for southwestern Polk and central San Jacinto counties in southeastern Texas. Play it out, turn the volume up a notch or two. I can just turn it off for now. And again, that is the only tornado warning we have. We're going to have to watch this storm southwest of Point Blank just in case. At this point, this is south of where that big EF3 in 2020 crossed from near north side of Lake Livingston near Onalaska to Seven Oaks. This is about 10 miles south of that. And again, I'll just read the warning real quick. Tornado warning until 2:45 p.m. for central San Jacinto County, southwestern Polk County, southeastern Texas. At 2:28 p.m., a thunderstorm with a history of producing tornadoes was located near Lake Livingston State Park, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. This storm will be near Livingston, northeastern West Livingston at 2:35 p.m. Otherwise, we have thunderstorms further southwest, severe storm southwest of Flatonia that's got a history of producing tennis ball size hail. It doesn't look like it's doing that right now. It looks weaker. Houston area so far. We got some scattered showers and storms. At this point, none of those are severe. We're going to watch them carefully in case they try to intensify into supercells. This storm north of Todd Mission, west of Montgomery, has an interesting shape to it. We're going to need to watch that as it moves northeast. And then this storm northwest of Cold Spring, southwest of Point Blank, moving northeast. We're going to need to watch for signs of organization. But at this point, the only tornado warning we have is for this circulation that is intensifying again west of Goodrich, kind of south of Livingston. If I had to guess, this may stay just south of the actual city of Livingston, but it is going to be close, so don't you dare come out of that. Shelter, if you're in Livingston. Goodrich, you need to be in shelter as well. And we're going to keep watching this storm south of Point Blank. It's small, but it's showing organization. I can't rule out it trying to become mischievous in the spinny, doom department. Otherwise, this storm over Goodrich to Livingston, capable of producing a tornado as it moves northeast at 50 miles an hour. After it impacts the Livingston area, this storm is going to be moving towards areas east of New Willard, east of Seven Oaks. Eventually, if it were to continue, would pass near Chester and Camden. But we're going to have to see how far north this destabilization has occurred. At some point, these are going to run into a wall where the low levels of the atmosphere are more stable, allowing for the tornado threat to decrease. Exactly when that threshold occurs, though, is up in the air, literally. Until then, we're going to treat this as we should, and we have a tornado warning. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. We've got our first tornado warning of the day. We had a tornado reported near Cold Spring or south of Cold Spring by about 6 miles at 2:17 p.m. The same thunderstorm is now approaching Highway 59 between Goodrich and Livingston, with a tornado warning in effect until 2:45 p.m. for central San Jacinto and southwestern Polk counties in southeast Texas. And that is the only tornado warning we have so far. For those of you wondering about the forecast for this afternoon, tonight, best thing I can tell you, go to our Texas Weather Center YouTube channel, go to our website, download our mobile app. We've got detailed forecast out, both written and in a video that you can see the forecast for. We actually posted an updated video 2 p.m. just before this tornado warning was issued. That's on all our YouTube platforms, social media, all that as well. All right, new tornado warning. Let's see what this one's going to be for. All right, this might be for the western storm. We'll have to wait for that to pop up. All right, so it is. This is going to be a new tornado warning now. This will be for that western storm I was just talking about. So, folks in Point Blank to Unalaska, north side of Lake Livingston, if you were impacted by the 2020 April EF3 tornado, this is back on the track of that storm. A little further south, but this is going to be a new tornado warning for portions of Point Blank, Unalaska, Lake Livingston, and west of Livingston. At 2:32 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Point Blank, or 17 miles west of Livingston, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. This possible tornado will be near Unalaska and Point Blank around 2:40 p.m. So again, we now have 2 storms, each capable of producing tornadoes in portions of San Jacinto and Polk counties. Storm number 1 near Livingston, storm number 2 about 5 miles south of Point Blank, crossing over Highway 156, both storms moving northeast at about 40 to 50 miles an hour. These storms are fast movers today, and in an environment that does support tornado genesis and a tornado threat. So we have 2 tornado warnings now. Again, those of you in Livingston, Goodrich, you should have been in shelter 15 minutes ago when we started hollering about this. Those of you in Point Blank and Unalaska, first storm missed you to the southeast. We now have a new storm that could impact you, so you need to take your tornado safety precautions. Eventually, this new storm, second storm, could be a threat to Seven Oaks, the 2020 tornado area. So again, at this point, Houston, you're fine for now. We have no severe storms in Houston. Nothing's organized down there. Houston, you will have storms from the west. This line that's from near Kennedy Falls City up towards Gonzales, Flatonia, LaGrange. That line's going to intensify and move east towards Houston by dinner time. We need to keep an eye out for any individual storms that pop up ahead of it. I'll tell you this now, I don't like the look of this storm west of Montgomery. Those of you from New Waverly to Huntsville to Oakhurst, watch this storm that's near Montgomery right now, because it has a pretty decent chance of trying to become tornado warned in the next 20 minutes or so. It's taken on that ominous little hook shape. It's got a strong reflectivity core aloft indicating a strong updraft, and it is showing indications of mid-level rotation. I need to adjust their RF scan algorithm for that. That's what the purple haze is all about. So at this point, we're watching 3 storms we're concerned about. Storm 1, the potential for a tornado on Highway 59 near Livingston, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. Storm number 2, now about 4 miles south of Point Blank near Stephen Creek on Highway 156, moving towards Unalaska, north side of Lake Livingston. The 2020 tornado area. That eventually could be an issue for Seven Oaks. Storm 3, which does not have a tornado warning yet, but it probably is going to need one soon, is northwest of Montgomery, north of Highway 105, moving towards Highway 190 between Huntsville and New Waverly. That storm could be a problem in the making as it continues to move northeast. I don't know why Houston only has Sales 1 going right now on HGX, but it'd be kind of nice if they fixed that so we could actually see some detail. Okay, so that's a spooky look. All right, let's switch radars real quick. I'm going to take a more detailed look. Here's a look, reflectivity. This is a terminal Doppler weather radar that was installed after the Delta crash up in Dallas in the 80s. These are higher resolution but shorter range. What it does allow us to see, though, is higher velocity information. Now, I can't tell if that's the cold front or what that the Montgomery storm's on, but that may help keep its threat for severe weather or at least tornadoes lower. We're going to have to watch. In terms of spinny, doom potential, here's a look at the latest reflectivity scan. You can see that hook echo, the appendage of that hook echo, about to move on to the north side of Lake Livingston. After that, it's going to be crossing near Unalaska before moving back onshore near Highway 190 just east of Unalaska. So again, this is a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado at any time. While it's over the lake, if a tornado occurs, it'll be a waterspout before it moves back onshore and becomes a tornado again. In all sense, it doesn't really matter because it's a tornado type intensity anyway versus the summertime waterspouts you can see off the Gulf Coast, which typically aren't all that strong. This is a supercellular tornado, and it will mess stuff up. And if it hits a boat dock, that boat dock's done for. So again, here's the latest velocity scan from that. On Alaska, you need to be in a safe place. Point blank, I think the tornado threat for y'all will stay east-southeast of Point Blank. This is going to move over the lake, and then it's going to move back onshore near or just east of Unalaska on Highway 190 before potentially posing a threat to Seven Oaks. We have 2 tornado warnings for 2 storms. First storm, now east of the city of Livingston, barely. Man, what is with... There we go. Sorry about those skits. They're called SCITs. They're quite annoying at times. First circulation, now near or just east of the city of Livingston, moving northeast. This will stay east of Seven Oaks over relatively rural areas, but could be an issue for Chester to Camden down the road. Second circulation, about to move over to the north side of Lake Livingston, now southeast of Point Blank. When it moves back onshore off the lake, it's going to be near Highway 190, near or within 1 to 2 miles east of Unalaska. Y'all need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Do not try to go video this when it's on the lake as a waterspout and then have it hit you when it moves onshore. This thing is not going to mess around. It's not a typical waterspout in the sense of maybe 60, 70 mile an hour winds. This thing could put a strong tornado down, and it doesn't matter if it's on the lake or when it moves onshore, it is going to mess stuff up. So please do not be outside near a boat dock or, looking out a screen patio at this thing and having it hit you. Because guess what? You may get some cool video, but if you get impaled by a 2x4 or a piece of sheet metal off the roof of a dock, well, it's not really going to do much for you. Trust me, video not worth being lacerated by sheet metal. All right, back further southwest, watching that storm southwest of New Waverly at this point, looks like a hailer. Maybe some dime to nickel size hail, no tornado threat with that. And we'll zoom out for the state real quick because, yes, we have a blizzard underway in the Panhandle. We have Adam Lucio, Chelsea Burnett, Stephen Jones are out in this region documenting the snow. We've had 2 to 4 inches of snow reported around Dalhart, but we've also had 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. We just had a 68 mile an hour wind gust in Dumas back at 1 p.m. We just had a 68 mile an hour wind gust at 1:27. North of Amarillo. And again, all this snow, even if it's light, is getting blown around and blizzard in the making. The storm back near Livingston did produce a confirmed tornado back near Cold Spring, about 5 miles south of Cold Spring earlier. We have not had any recent reports of a tornado, but we're also not in the Weather Service chat anymore, so those real-time reports we don't have access to. Feel free to write the National Weather Service and mention that at some point, but we're going to do our best here. That's what we are definitely going to do. So again, we have 2 tornado warnings. 1, storm near Livingston. 2, storm now just northeast of Stephen Creek over north sides of Lake Livingston. This will move back onshore near or a couple miles east of Unalaska, crossing over 190, probably north of County Road 2457. Pretty much the 2020 tornado track almost, but probably a mile or 2 further to the southeast. So we don't want anyone to be out looking for this. NWS Chat, by the way, is a internal chat program used by partners at the Weather Service, TV meteorologists, broadcast media, emergency management, etc. We were part of that for 10 years until they switched to a new platform earlier in 2023, and they decided that social media sites, which, apparently they think, well, we are, but at that same point, we're also one of the largest weather dissemination sources in the state of Texas. We were in it for 10 years, but then they decided, oh, you're just social media. You don't need to be in this anymore. Well, I guess they don't want all the reports from y'all, and they don't want... that is nasty couplet. Now, this is probably the strongest circulation we've seen all day so far in Texas. This is about to move onshore, southeast of Alaska. We have winds moving away from the radar at 80, winds moving towards the radar about 20. So, given the fact a circulation less impressive than this earlier produced a confirmed tornado near Cold Spring, it is entirely plausible, if not probable, that we do have a tornado in progress. It would be a waterspout over the lake, become tornado once it moves back onshore. This one it looks like it may have turned right a bit. So if you are in, I'm just going to call out some roads here: Glacier Drive, Sequoia Drive, Donna Drive, Vicky Drive, Indian Hill Boulevard, southeast of Onalaska, west of West Livingston. You need to be in a safe place now. We probably have a tornado in progress. Boy, that alarm scares me. Livingston, we've got a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. There's a new tornado warning for that. We're going to read that warning real quick. I'm going to turn the TV down. Okay, let's just read this warning for you. This will be a new tornado warning for Livingston. 2:43 p.m., storm with a history of producing tornadoes located about 2 miles east of Livingston, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. This storm's going to be over rural portions of eastern Polk County, including Leggett. So again, this tornado warning does include Camden. It doesn't run all the way up to Chester at this point, but if you're in Camden, this does include you. Areas from Livingston, Seven Oaks, east of Highway 59, north of Highway 190, towards Chester and Camden on 287. I'm going to drink some water real quick. Thunderstorm number 2, capable of producing a tornado back over Lake Livingston, moving onshore now near West Livingston, just southeast of Onalaska. We've had no recent reports of tornadoes down, visually confirmed by spotters, but both of these storms have strong low-level circulations. So here, I'm going to check some data real quick. All right. So circulation 1, circulation 2.
Enforcement. Additional information. Near whiteout conditions within
Of course, it updates right when I draw it. So again, this is what we're looking at. This is the wind portion of Doppler radar. These radars are able to determine wind direction and speed. Circulation number 1 could have a possible tornado there. Circulation number 2 could have a possible tornado moving onshore from the lake between Onalaska and West Livingston. Both storms moving northeast at about 50 miles an hour. Storm 1, east of Livingston. If you're in the city of Livingston, you're clear from Storm 1. If you're west of Livingston, you may have a tornado from Storm 2. If you're in New Willard on 59, you're clear. Seven Oaks on 59, you're clear. If you're on Moscow on 59, you're clear. If you're east of 59, north of 190, you are not clear. You need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Circulation will be near Farnham Market 2500 and FM 942 in the next 5 minutes, south of Camden, southwest of Chester. For all purposes, this is riding 942 up towards Chester at this point. Circulation number 2 will be moving onshore southeast of Onalaska, west of West Livingston the next few minutes. At this point, we don't have any other tornado warnings in effect. Let's zoom out, see if we're missing anything. I know several of you are wondering about Houston and all of that. So let's switch back over to the how hard the rain's falling mode. Down in Houston, we've got scattered showers, maybe lightning strikes with this activity moving northeast quickly. These are not severe. These are what we call warm air advection showers or thunderstorms. It's when those try to become supercells, like the storms further north, we have problems. But at this point, that has not happened, which we should be very thankful for, because the environment across southeast Texas, to be frank, is dangerous right now for tornadoes. We've got extremely strong low-level wind shear and a lot of instability. The fact these have not developed into full-blown tornadic supercells is a blessing. It may be because there's a little bit of a capping inversion, keeping a lid on those storms. It could be the wind shear is so strong it's blowing over those updrafts before they can materialize, but we're going to have to watch for places like Beaumont, Orange, up to Kirbyville, Woodville, and still the Houston Metro for these little pop-up thunderstorms that try to become full-blown tornadic supercells. But so far, we've been blessed in that regard. The only issues we've had with those little thunderstorms becoming supercells are these storms around Livingston. Why that is, I don't know. There might just be there's a boundary in that area that's helping to locally enhance the amount of vorticity available lift, and that's what has allowed that activity in that corridor to materialize. Further west, main line of storms on the cold front's leading edge, just west of Yoakum to Hallettsville, east of Gonzales, Flatonia, LaGrange, to Brenham, all the way up to Huntsville. These storms could become strong to severe with damaging winds, some hail, but at this point, we've been lucky. All right, new tornado warning. This will be for San Jacinto, Polk counties for Storm 2. This does include the city of Corrigan, Seven Oaks, New Willard, Moscow, Onalaska, down to 190. So this will be a new tornado warning until 3:30 p.m. At 2:49 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Onalaska, 9 miles northwest of Livingston, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. And this storm's moving northeast at 50 if you're in Seven Oaks. If you're in Moscow, Corrigan, and New Willard, you need to take your tornado safety precautions. Now, in all likelihood, this will stay west of 59 in New Willard, but could get closer and closer to 59 as we get towards Seven Oaks, Moscow, and eventually the city of Corrigan, where 59 and 287 intersect. So, two storms, two tornado warnings. Storm number 1, capable of producing a tornado right now, probably near FM 942, west of 2500 for now. That places it about 9 miles northeast of Livingston. Livingston, you're clear for now. If you're in the city of Livingston, this is all northwest and northeast of you for now. Storm number 2. And I say for now because we need to watch activity farther southwest. So your threat's not over, but your short-term issue is done. Storm number 2 currently crossing near or just pretty much around Highway 59, just east of Onalaska. Highway 190 near Onalaska, just east, moving towards Seven Oaks, Moscow, and Corrigan on 59 and Highway 287. And those are the only two tornado warnings we have right now. No severe thunderstorm warnings in the state. There's other storms with a bit of hail, strong winds. To be frank, the entire state's got strong winds today, and that's going to continue into tonight and tomorrow as a full-blown nasty sauce system takes shape across the plains of the United States. In fact, you can see that. We've got mega blizzard of doom. Nebraska, Kansas, Panhandle of Texas, where winds are gusting over 70 miles an hour. It's crazy. But for us in Texas, at least the eastern portion of Texas, we're on the warm side of this for now. So again, we've got rain, we've got wind, North Texas, Northeast Texas. No severe weather threat, North Texas, Northeast Texas. Threat for these tornadic supercells from Livingston to Onalaska probably going to decrease as they move towards St. Augustine, where the low levels of the atmosphere are more stable. We need to watch this activity farther southwest, though. As a cold front moves east towards Houston, those storms on the leading edge of that cold front could become rather problematic in terms of damaging winds, some hail, and can't rule out a tornado or two. Trying to make something out of nothing. Oh, you're so cute. That's not my job. That's other YouTubers' jobs. I just tell you what's going on, and I try not to make a big deal out of it. But if that's the way you feel, you're welcome to turn us off and go watch whatever drama flick of the day it is. All right, let me kill some of these tracks. I don't know why it has to do that to me. But alas, oh well. Back to the high-res radar. We have 2 tornado warnings at this point, both now north of Livingston. Storm 1 coming up on Farm to Market 2500 and 942. Moving towards Camden and Chester. Not as intense looking as it was earlier. Storm number 2, same story, north of 190 now, east of Onalaska. If you're on Onalaska, down southwest of Point Blank, you're clear from the current tornado warning. The storm is northeast of 190 now, moving towards Seven Oaks, Moscow, and Corrigan. Storm 1, north of 190, and Livingston. Livingston, you're clear for now. I can't rule out some more stormy mischief from storms to your southwest, but for now, you're clear. And again, if you're wondering what's going on in your part of the woods, you can look at TexasStormChasers.com. We've got radar, we've got interactive weather radar, TexasStormChasers.com/radar. We've got a video forecast posted from 2 p.m. on the YouTube channel, the Texas Storm Chasers website, and the Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. And we've also got interactive weather radar, actual local weather forecast down to your location on the app as well. You can get, in addition to the interactive weather radars and these videos. And we've also got Storm Chasers out in the Panhandle in West Kansas. You can watch their live video on our website, in our app, and on the Texas Storm Chasers YouTube channel. I'm going to drink some more water. Throat's getting scratchy. Good news is we haven't heard any recent ground reports of a tornado. The only report of a confirmed tornado we've had today has been near Cold Spring earlier at about 2:19 p.m. We have not heard anything around Livingston, which indicates probably nothing bad happened. And we have not heard anything from Onalaska to Seven Oaks, which is good. So hopefully these storms have moved north of a boundary or something and will continue to weaken. That's what it looks like. We're in the purple haze right now, which is annoying. Let me see if we can get a different look at this. Yeah, you could see a different look. This storm, the eastern storm moving towards Chester and Camden, still showing strong indications of rotation. We're looking from the Fort Polk radar now in Louisiana. It's a little further away, which means higher up above the ground, but it gives us a decent look at the rotation. So, hopefully, as these storms continue to move northeast, they'll move into a more stable, low-level environment as temperatures fall off from the 70s to about 60 degrees. It's only 58 in Lufkin. Looks like it's 60 in Zavala, which means at some point these storms are going to lose their low-level instability and the threat of tornadoes will cease from those storms. But when exactly that happens is questionable and not necessarily something we're going to be able to tell easily. But hopefully that'll happen sooner rather than later. And again, here I'll switch back over to the actual feed for this. I'll just do this. We've got a Storm Chaser feed as well. And in terms of storms we're going to have to watch for, here's a loop over the last hour. This line of storms on the leading edge of the cold front from near Brenham to Yoakum to Huntsville moving east. You can see the closer to the Gulf Coast, the stronger these storms are generally behaving. But so far, we've been fortunate in that around Houston, we haven't seen any big-time issues with storms trying to become tornadic. The threat for severe weather may increase a bit as this line approaches from the west, and we're definitely going to have to keep an eye out on these storms just in case one of the individual storms in southeast Texas tries to take off like the storms around Livingston did about 45 minutes ago. But for now, we're doing better than we were a bit earlier. I'm just checking some notes here. Don't mind me and my incessant need to look at my phone. And I will edit the announcer thing, by the way. One, I'll try to get rid of the British lady. Two, I'll shorten the duration those say, or the duration of the statements, but we'll work on that for later. But we're going to need to still keep an eye around Houston. So far, Houston, we're doing well, but we need to keep an eye out until these storms get east of Texas, and we still got several hours to go for that. I'm going to look at some data here. I wonder if the Warn-On forecast is running today. It is. Very good. And I've got 2 sectors, including Texas. Good. I'm looking at a AI-type experimental product from the National Severe Storms Lab. I'm just curious to see if it's highlighting any sort of mischief. Not really. We're going to have to keep an eye out. New severe thunderstorm warning for the storm near New Waverly, southeast of Huntsville. For wind. Oh, excuse me. Got a scratch in my throat. I'm going to eat some trail mix and see if I can't fix that.
Severe thunderstorms was located near Huntsville State Park and to the northeast, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Tornado warning for northwestern Tyler County in southeastern Texas until 0330 p.m. CST. At 3 p.m. CST, a severe thunderstorm
All right, new tornado warning now. This will be for northwestern Tyler County in southeast Texas. This will include Chester, Rockland. This does not include Woodville. This will stay northwest of Woodville. So this is a tornado warning for Chester. Camden to Chester, you need to be in a safe place. That's going to be the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Those of you Chester, Camden, Rockland need to move to a safe place. This will stay south of Zavala, north of Woodville. We're still seeing a good mid-level mesocyclone here. We've not had any recent ground truth, but you need to be in a safe place. Mark and Chester, that means you need to be in a safe place. Congratulations. It's probably not a good thing to get a shout out on a tornado stream when you're in the place where it's moving. So hopefully temperatures there are a bit cooler, and that hopefully reduces the chance of a tornado. But again, we need to treat this like a tornado until we are completely sure it's done. So, okay, storm number 2 back west towards Corrigan, looking a bit weaker in terms of low-level rotation, at least compared to the storm approaching Chester. And it's about to be ingested by the cold front, which will decrease the threat for severe weather with that. We note a pretty good line of storms on 259 from Mount Enterprise to Nacogdoches to Lufkin. Could be some small hail, strong winds with that. No signs of low-level rotation. And then we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm southeast of Huntsville, north of New Waverly. And that's going to be moving up towards Oakhurst, point blank on Alaska. That could have damaging winds over 60 miles an hour, small hail, not a tornado risk, at least right now. So again, we've got 2 storms, each with tornado warnings. Storm 1 approaching Chester and Camden along Highway 287, northwest of Woodville. Storm number 2 approaching Corrigan, north of Seven Oaks, 287 and 59. I'm more concerned about this storm near Chester and Camden right now, but both storms have tornado warnings, and both storms need to be respected for that. In terms of hazards beyond the threat of a tornado, the potential for damaging winds, maybe some quarter-size hail. Lufkin, no, you're about to get, in terms of a severe weather tornado issue, Lufkin, I'm not worried about that, but you are about to get heavy rain, gusty winds, small hail. Now, let's go back, take a look at these storms further west. This activity definitely is increasing in intensity. So far, no severe weather warnings with this. That may change, but these storms are blasting east at 60 miles an hour and eventually will approach Houston. What we're going to have to watch for here are signs of low-level circulations that try to spin up. Now, if these storms are right behind that cold front, that'll reduce the threat for tornadoes, will not reduce the threat for damaging winds and hail. If these storms are able to latch on or stay just ahead of that cold front, the threat for severe weather, including tornadoes, spin-ups at least, could increase as these storms continue moving towards the Houston metropolitan area over the next 1 to 2 hours. And again, these are moving east at highway speeds of 60 miles an hour. We're talking 2 hours from the city of Houston, so 5 o'clock. Areas west, next hour. But so far, nothing going on with that. Houston area. We do have showers and storms, gusty winds, heavy rain. My RTX 2080 Ti is kind of struggling with all this. That's sad. I'm going to have to order a new graphics card at some point this spring. That's going to be expensive. Anyone who's into the whole graphic card realm knows that if you're going to go higher echelon graphic card, whether it be NVIDIA or AMD, you're going to be spending a boatload. And good luck in a 4090 right now. Good gravy. So, storms around Houston, behaving for now. That's good. We'll keep an eye out, but they're behaving. Nothing to worry about right now. As we look further north, 2 tornado warnings. Storm number 1 now approaching Chester on 287. Rotation, present, but not super scary looking. Can't rule out a spin-up tornado. Moving northeast at 50 to 55 miles an hour. And then that could be moving towards Rockland as this storm moves out of Polk County and into northwestern Tyler County. Around Moscow to Corrigan, storm moving out of San Jacinto County, Polk County, potential for a spin-up tornado, Moscow to Corrigan. But frankly, both these storms look like they're weakening. And I'll go graphic card nerd later. I've actually got 2 graphic cards. I'm running 8 monitors right now. If I pop the integrated GPU on just for more monitors, I could be running a lot more. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 monitors I can use around me. And in case you're wondering, why would I need that many monitors? Typically, just because of maintaining situational awareness. It really helps when there's multiple storms on a busy day. But now I've got a 2080 Ti as my main card. I've got a 1060 as a secondary card running monitors. You want to talk about old, there you go. But yeah, I'm going to have to probably upgrade at some point, especially as we get into the realm of 4K streaming. But I'll take a look at the 4080 Super that just came out. If I can get that for the price it's marketing for, it might not be too bad. We'll see. But I'm not, this ain't graphic card brains or Gamers Nexus. This is weather stormy time. All right, so I am hopeful we may be able to calm this thing down here shortly. Chester, if there's a tornado, it's very near Chester right now on 287, moving up towards Rockland. Storm number 2 near Corrigan. If there's a tornado, which I'm not all that confident about right now, it is on 59, a couple miles south of Corrigan. And I am hopeful we may be able to get rid of these soon. Let me pop surface temperatures on and tell you why. Nacogdoches, 61 degrees. Jasper, 64. Up here, notice that temperatures really, we want to see closer to 67, 68, 70 for a higher tornado threat. These storms are moving into a more stable, low-level environment. And then you've got the cold front back here in the Brazos Valley, temperatures in the 50s. But notice how Victoria, 77, Houston, 73, Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange, we're in the 70s. That is where the higher tornado threat's going to be if we have a storm to utilize that. So far, we have not. We have been blessed in that regard, and we should be thankful because if this stuff around Houston, these showers were able to evolve into full-blown supercells, we'd be talking about a pretty significant tornado issue. That has not happened, thankfully. There's a little in the atmosphere helping to kind of keep things behaved for now. And then for what it's worth, Panhandle, we got a blizzard. Temperatures in the 20s, winds over 65 miles an hour. Pretty much every road in the northwestern Panhandle, western Panhandle's closed due to blizzard conditions. Don't bother. You want road conditions? DriveTexas.org. And then scary blizzard of doom. You wanted to go through Dodge City, Garden City, I-70, northern Kansas. Not going to happen. That's all probably closed due to a blizzard. And then severe weather, that's going to continue. Here, I'll just pop this on real quick. Let me turn the radars off. You want severe weather? Here you go. Here's a severe weather outlook for tonight. I haven't updated the color scale, but close enough. Darker the orange, the higher the risk. Risk, Louisiana Gulf Coast, Mississippi Gulf Coast, Alabama Gulf Coast, Florida Panhandle. So the risk only gets worse as you go east tonight. Here's the tornado risk. You could see medium, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida Panhandle, and we're just on the starting lines here. Unfortunately, we've been blessed so far with a relatively limited issue in the severe weather department, with the exception of these thunderstorms that got themselves into a fuss back southwest of Livingston earlier. I am hopeful we can be rid of these tornado warnings soon. This storm near Corrigan looking much less impressive. That's good. This storm near Chester, borderline problematic. Tornado warning remains in effect. Chester, northeast up to Rockland, I'd recommend staying in your safe place. You got to respect the tornado warning. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And here, let's do this. I'm going to press some buttons. I have to do this manually. We're going to switch over to the high-res rapid refresh model just to get an idea of the timing for the rest of today and tonight. That. Clear all that. So I have to do all this manually. And I'm just going to let it loop. I'm going to let the animation load quickly. It'll be choppy here for a couple seconds while it loads, which you can see by this evening, most of this activity will be outside. Rude. Let's try that again. We'll be out of the state of Texas. Here's 5 o'clock. Boy, this thing is not being kind to me. I may have broken the program, honestly. I might have to reboot it. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to reboot the program. I broke it. I'm so proud of myself. All right, let's try this again without me breaking anything. I know, unlikely. But no, if y'all want me to do a video at some point, when we're not doing severe weather, I can show you what the office and my nerd cave setup looks like in here. I'll tell you this, I regret hacking up the portable air conditioner unit at this point. It's probably in the mid-80s in here right now. All right, so let's just load this again. This will be choppy for a minute as it loads. Storms, they're going to be out of Texas probably by 8 o'clock. Snow could continue into the mid-evening hours in the Panhandle before moving east, but the strong winds will continue creating dangerous travel conditions for the Panhandle through tonight because ground blizzard conditions. But also, for what it's worth, if I zoom this out, you can see it's going to be a busy night. Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida Panhandle, Alabama coast, they're going to have a nasty line of storms and even the potential for some prefrontal supercells tonight into Tuesday morning. And if I pop on the severe weather outlook, here's tomorrow's tornado risk. Tomorrow's going to be a busy tornado and severe weather day, all the way from near Virginia Beach through the Florida Panhandle, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, even parts of Virginia and Florida. It's going to be busy tomorrow. So the tornado risk for the remainder of today, tonight, there you go, and then tomorrow. So yeah, it's going to be busy. But that busy pattern is going to continue. For what it's worth, we could be doing all this over again Thursday into Friday, and then Crashy, the nasty cold front, comes in over the weekend and next week with the potential for winter weather, potentially across areas a lot farther southeast than the Texas Panhandle. No, that does not mean we're going to be dealing with the polar vortex in Texas. I want to make that abundantly clear. You have probably seen hype galore the last few weeks that by mid-January, it's going to be like February 2021 all over again, polar vortex. No, not happening. 2021 of February was a unique set of circumstances. Meteorologically speaking, all 254 counties in Texas had snow and ice. That laid down snow cover. Then we had an Arctic high set up over the state, which allowed temperatures in conjunction with the snow mass to drop to pretty much generationally low temperatures. It was hopefully a generational event. Outside of that, we deal with systems almost like that, just not as extreme, about once every 10 years. Super Bowl week 2020 or 2011, for example. Remember the part where pretty much the northern half of Texas was encased in ice for a week? We dealt with that. 2021, record-breaking, and unfortunately exacerbated tenfold by humanitarian factors, mainly the power grid failing, and then no heat for millions of people, which resulted in a humanitarian disaster. So let's be abundantly clear about this week and the next week. Yes, it's going to get cold. Yes, the Panhandle may see temperatures flirting with zero. We're not talking about temperatures below zero in North Texas, the Arklatex. We're not talking about high temperatures in near zero for Houston and Austin. And we're not talking about something that is going to coat the entire state in a foot of snow or ice. So, yes, it's going to get cold. Yes, we may have winter storms. No, it is not going to be like February 2021. And anyone who tells you that is just trying to get clicks and views. And I promise you, if that changes and it suddenly starts looking more dangerous in terms of, crazy extreme cold, we'll tell you. I'll eat goat. I'll eat pig. I don't know what the idiom of the day is, but let's keep... It'll be okay. All right, so fun report. A report of a waterspout earlier over Lake Livingston, and that's when I was talking about the storm moving over the lake and potentially messing up some boat docks. All right, 2 tornado warnings remain in effect. Tornado warning number 1, now northeast of Chester. If you're in Chester, you're good. Approaching Rockland. This storm continuing to show some mid-level rotation, but weakening. Storm west near Corrigan. Corrigan, you're clear. Moscow, you're clear. Seven Oaks, you're clear. Honestly, I don't think this tornado warning for the western storm will be extended. It is weakening. And then this eastern storm, it's still showing some rotational loss, but honestly, it also looks like it is being affected by cooler low-level temperatures and weakening. So I'm not confident they'll expand this tornado warning northeast, which would leave us without any tornado warnings whatsoever. I'll turn back the statewide view. And again, just for fun, let me turn on wind gusts. Now, I don't have an upper third for this, but these are going to be wind gusts. We had a wind gust of 70 in Amarillo. It's windy across the state. These are wind gusts. And hopefully the closed captions.
By law enforcement. Additional information. Highway 385 closed north of Dimmitt due to near zero visibility in heavy snow. Multiple traffic accidents reported.
Okay, so that was a report out of the Panhandle. Pretty much northern Panhandle, western Panhandle shut down due to blizzard. Even though we may not see all that much snow, 1 to 4 inches, 70-mile-an-hour winds, it's a blizzard. It's a dangerous blizzard, and that'll bring the wind chills down to below zero. Wind-wise, it's going to be windy across the entire state tonight. It's going to stay windy into Tuesday morning. In terms of tornado warnings, I am hopeful we're about to be done with them. As those two tornadic storms are weakening and the other storms remain behaved. You can see a pretty good line of storms setting up shop with some small hail, gusty winds, Lufkin down to Corrigan, Onalaska, New Waverly down to Magnolia, Hempstead, Belleville, Columbus on Interstate 10 to Haleysville, all the way down to Yoakum, north of Victoria. And again, some of these storms, as they continue moving southeast in that line, may become strong to severe with damaging winds, large hail. And we can't totally rule out a tornado. For what it's worth, here's the view from Adam Lucio and Chelsea Burnett. They're near Dumas, Texas. That is 287 north of Amarillo. Folks, when I say blizzard conditions, this is what I mean. Do not travel. If you get stranded, someone may not necessarily be able to make it out to help you. We're not talking about, just a couple inches of snow and some snowdrifts on the side of the road. Literally, you cannot see more than 10 feet. And even once the snow stops tonight, those winds will continue creating a ground blizzard effect. This is life-threatening travel. All right, looks like the Weather Service has elected to make our lives more difficult and extend the tornado warning for our storm north or near Rockland. So let's get back to it.
Tornado warning for southeastern Angelina County.
Here's the new tornado warning. This will stay southeast of Zavala. This includes southeastern Angelia, southeastern St. Augustine, and southwestern Sabine counties. At 3:19 p.m., a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles northeast of Chester, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. This tornado warning does not include Zavala. It does include Brookland here on Highway 96 southwest of Pineland. And again, honestly, we are right on the line of this storm not being able to produce a tornado because of low-level stability. I am not completely confident this storm is what we call surface-based, but the Weather Service has elected to put a tornado warning out, so we're going to stay here and talk about it. This tornado warning does include Highway 63 southeast of Zavala and encroaches on Highway 96 between Pineland north of Jasper near Brookland. For what it's worth, surface temperatures south of St. Augustine, 60 degrees. Jasper, it is 64. This is very borderline, not favorable for low-level tornado genesis, but
Texas local storm report
we'll keep an eye on it.
News of in El Paso County, Texas. Non-thunderstorm wind
Livingston, Onalaska, you are clear. No more tornado warnings for Onalaska, Livingston. You've got some storms rolling in from the west, but you're clear. So if you're in Onalaska, if you're in Corrigan, Seven Oaks, New Willard, Onalaska, Point Blank, Stephen Creek, Livingston, Cold Spring, you are clear. No tornadoes. You are clear. And back up in the Panhandle, I can't just help but marvel at Adam Lucio and Chelsea Burnett's live feed. That is unbelievable. You can see the telephone pole. That is the epitome of a blizzard. You want to know what a blizzard looks like? You can't see 5 feet. And this is why roads are closed. And this is why you'd be insane to travel in that. And again, it may be a bit better in towns, but you definitely don't want to leave any towns right now in the northwestern western Panhandle. That is almost unfathomable. And again, this is the Texas Panhandle. This is not Kansas, Nebraska. This is the Panhandle of Texas. The first blizzard in several years, and holy moly guacamole, is it a kicker. And again, you can watch the live video with their audio on the Texas Storm Chasers YouTube channel, the Texas Storm Chasers website and mobile app. Jason, if you're watching, just keep their blizzard on the full screen on the Chaser stream. If folks want to watch the severe weather coverage, they can do it here on the dedicated YouTube stream. But as you might be able to tell, I am not too worried this second about a sustained long-term tornado threat with this thunderstorm south of Zavala. This is borderline unfavorable for low-level tornado genesis and low-level severe weather instability, simply because temperatures are only now about 60 degrees here. Further south, when this was taken off southwest of Livingston, it was about 70. It's 60 here. It's going to be moving into the 50s by the time it makes it to Hemphill. So, again, some basic common sense meteorology here indicates there's a higher than not probability this is not going to do too much more in the spinny doom department. Is it totally impossible? Oh. Would Mother Nature probably do something just to throw egg in my face? Positively. But we'll see. Otherwise, we have no other tornado warnings in Texas. This one, north of Livingston, was allowed to expire. The program just hasn't taken it off yet because it hates me. And as we take a look further south into Houston proper, you can see heavy rain, storm, Highlands, Channelview, Baytown, southwest of Liberty. No super duper low level rotation with this. This isn't looking organized in terms of a threat of a tornado anytime soon. But we'll keep an eye out as it generally moseys its way towards Beaumont over the next hour. Then further west, line of storms from near Truro, Yoakum, Haleysville to Prairie View, Bellevue, up to New Waverly. Could have gusty winds, small hail, and heavy rainfall, but those are behaving. And real quick, we're going to go back. Here's Adam's view. I'm going to see if I can... I'm going to mute that, fit it to the screen, just show you what we've got. Maybe I'm not. There you go. There's your blizzard. Just nuts. So again, the Panhandle, significant blizzard underway. Here's a look from Dumas, north of Amarillo. They're barely moving on a road. You can see the pavement, the blacktop there at the bottom. You can't see a thing. And cameras typically pick up more than what you'd even see in person. So the visibility in terms of what you would see just looking yourself is even lower than what the camcorder's seeing through. That is insane. And again, you can watch their live feed on the Texas Storm Chasers YouTube channel, website, and mobile app. The Blizzard Chase from the Texas Panhandle. But back to severe weather. The only tornado warning we have right now is this thunderstorm southeast of Zavala that is still showing some mid-level rotation. Can't totally rule out a tornado, but conditions are not particularly favorable given the fact surface temperatures are now almost into the 50s here. So we are very close to being done with this, I think. Nevertheless, if you were southeast of Zavala, northeast of Rockland on Highway 63, let's say near County Road... Well, let's just say between Zavala, Rockland, approaching Highway 63, you need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, can't totally rule out a tornado here, but we're looking... Oh... Let's see. Actually, I'm curious how high up we're looking in the atmosphere right now. We're looking at 7,500 feet. So while the storm aloft is rotating like atop, that may not necessarily be translating it down to the surface, the lowest few thousand feet, where temperatures are near 60 degrees. So, yeah. If we have a spin-up tornado down, it is southeast of Zavala. If you were in Zavala, you're clear from this. This is not going to impact the town of Zavala unless you're southeast of town on 63. In terms of where the tornado might be, it's approaching Roland... What is that? Roland Marshall Road and Highway 63, County Road 348. Just putting some roads on here. And again, we're looking about 7,500 feet above the ground here. If we have a tornado down, it'll be crossing over Highway 63 shortly before moving over the lake west of Brooklyn, southwest of Pineland. The only confirmed tornado we've had today was earlier near Cold Spring, 6 miles south of Cold Spring. We had a report of a tornado at 2:17, and then at 2:35, we had a report of a water spout over Lake Livingston. Other than that, we have not had any ground confirmation. We've not heard of any damage. Back over to the which way the wind's a blowing mode. Make sure I'm on the right radar. And you can see, yeah, we've got rotation. Green's moving east. Red moving west. How about we try that again with me actually making sense? Sorry, I was distracted looking at other data. So what we call a a circulation radar. Wind moving away from the radar in Fort Polk, Louisiana. Wind moving towards. I'm going to take away Jason's ad privileges. And this is the only tornado warning we have. This is a tornado warning for southeastern Angelina, southeastern San Augustine, and southwestern Sabine counties until 3:45 p.m. It now being 3:32 p.m. Well, that's spooky. So, for those of you asking about the forecast, we've got a video posted, a quick 2-minute video on the Texas Weather Center YouTube channel in our mobile app on our website. At 2 p.m., that'll give you the forecast on what we expect for the remainder of today and tonight. Here's the latest velocity scan. Circulation on Highway 63 about 7 miles southeast of Zavala. That'll be moving over the lake shortly. Otherwise, we're behaving. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning now. East of Hollitsville on Highway 90 west of Eagle Lake. That'll be for the potential for quarter-size hail, winds of 60 miles an hour. That does not look like a spinny, doom issue. Otherwise, these storms near Liberty, small hail, gusty winds, heavy rainfall, no indications of any storm rotation.
North Central Wharton County in southeastern Texas, southern Austin County in southeastern Texas. Until 4 p.m. CST. At 0332 p.m. CST, a severe thunderstorm was located near Sublime.
And if all goes well, we may be able to
moving east at 45
end this shortly. Or at least change over to blizzard mode. I'm going to work on that real quick, so if that is what we end up doing, we could simply change over when we're done. So Jason, if you're listening, my plan is once Tor is gone, I will leave this stream up. I'll just switch it over to the production feed, which I've already got all set up here.
Texas local storm report from Friena in Palmer County, Texas. Blizzard. Reported by public. Additional information. Webcam shows visibility about 1/8 mile within heavy blowing snow.
The low-level circulation, or the circulation with this thunderstorm, now east of Zavala, is weakening pretty quickly based on the latest scan. I am hopeful we'll be done with this tornado warning when it expires at 3:45 p.m. Otherwise, that's it for tornado warnings for now. So, plan of attack. Here's what we're going to do for now. We are going to switch over to the Blizzard Chase, let y'all listen to Adam and Chelsea for a bit. Streams are going to stay up, and we'll have an update here in about 10 minutes. We'll see if the tornado warning's extended, but as it's moving over a lake right now in rural areas, we'll take a few minute break, switch over to the blizzard mode, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
We just passed an ambulance.
Wow. Totally didn't even see that. Like,
I mean, we were parked. We were not driving. We just started driving as of a few seconds ago. So we've been parked for about 5 minutes before that.
Also focused on the lines in the middle of the road here. I totally
that was an ambulance.
Totally did not see that at all. That's crazy. Good thing they were pulled over all the way.
No, they were driving.
Oh. Even if I do hit someone, minor bump at best. I don't know anyone who would have the insanity to do like 30 or 40 in these conditions.
Absolutely.
How could you even?
You can't.
This is about it. This is about the envelope right here. Just watching it go over the edge of the hood is It's like a sheet, just
Josh, we have done that with our windshield wipers so many times.
what, de-ice them?
Yes.
And you can't lift them while they're going and flip them back because they fly off. Ask me how I know.
We've done that twice already.
That's happened twice.
But thank you for the suggestion.
We'll do that. We'll try and do that next time we stop.
It's moot at this point.
Normally I stick my arm out the window and like lift it so it slaps. But apparently the style of bracket that's on, they like to fly off. And they're installed correctly. Because the bracket snaps in place and it's all in how it's supposed to be. Alright, where'd that yellow line go?
I can't even see it on the stream, so.
Oh, there it is. I think my rumble strips are getting filled with snow. I can barely feel them. Imagine being like a pioneer with your horse and buggy and no weather forecasting, and all of a sudden this is upon you. You're just like, well, I feel bad for the horse. We have it easy.
Yeah, I'm so lost. Too terribly. This is probably the worst of it all day.
Yeah, this is going to be the most intense rounds.
Can't even see. We're moving. We're just moving at 10 miles an hour.
Yeah. I can still see the edge of the shoulder, barely. If we ever truly can't see, you open your door and look down and you'll be able to see because the truck's blocking the...
Yeah, I could see the edge of the room.
So sorry y'all, I can't be looking at the chats right now for questions, comments, because, yeah, the chameleon, both chameleon eyes are on the road. Well, thank you all for being here. If you're new on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe button, please, and thank you.
Joanne, we are riding the rib of the rumble strips, but they're getting filled in with snow. So thank you for that suggestion, but we're doing it.
Yeah. I'm actually dead center in the lane right now. The rumble strips are a good guide if you can't see. But yeah, they're starting to become snow-filled because they're less and less noticeable. Let me see. Plus, when you're going slower, it's also hard to tell. Yeah, see, I didn't even feel us go over them. Yeah, you can barely, that's them right there. You can barely feel them.
Oh, hear that wind?
Uh-huh.
Go, window, go. It's getting slower, so I'll probably leave that.
There's the rumble strip.
Yeah, there we go.
Back in
No,
the,
Jenny, you cannot.
getting back in the lane because the ambulance was in the rumble, was on the shoulder. And if they suddenly start going faster than me.
Yes, the mind can play tricks on you when you're trying to look at this.
Oh, it sure can. There's been a couple times where I thought I was going right and I ended up left. I was like, whoa. Hey, there's a truck. There's a bunch of like mist came in here. They'll go away. You can use the towel and wipe it too. Storm chasing turns into storm camping. Yeah, if we can't get out of here to go back. This is spreading further south of I-40 than we anticipated, because we were just going to kind of follow it and, you know, wiggle our way back, but it wasn't supposed to be as much as it is further south of here, but that's weather for you. Wow.
Yeah, that was right.
I know it's going to be sore later as my back from being like sitting up straight. I should just put the dang seat up like this. Oh yeah, that's much better. Why didn't I do that before? Instead of being like, now I got the seat up. It's like, now it's just comfort. Yeah, this is much better. That's the problem with good ideas. They always come too late.
Back
Severe
to
thunderstorm warning for central
the
Sabine
radar.
Parish
We
in
have no
northwestern
tornado warnings
Louisiana,
now. The Weather Service at
southeastern
Shreveport
Shelby
has
County in
allowed
eastern Texas,
all tornado warnings in the state of
southeastern
Texas
Panhandle,
to
Gustin County in
expire.
eastern
So, with that
Texas,
being said,
Sabine
we'll keep an
County
eye
in
on
eastern
storms here.
Texas.
Tornado watch does remain in effect for
0430
southeast Texas in the Golden
PM
Triangle
CST.
through 9 p.m.
At
And we can't rule out some of these
0343
storms
PM
trying to
CST,
become
a severe thunderstorm was located 10 miles west of Pineland,
more
or
robust
13
with
miles
damaging
north of
straight line winds,
Ebenezer,
maybe some
moving
hail, and we
northeast
can't
at
totally rule
60
out a
miles
spin
per
up
hour.
tornado, especially with these storms in southeast Texas. Until then, we'll be posting occasional updates as needed. You can get your latest Texas weather information with the Texas Storm Chasers Interactive Weather Radar on our website, texasstormchasers.com/radar, and in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. We'll keep the stream up. We'll head back over and watch the cold side of this system, a blizzard underway across the panhandle of Texas. And as Adam was saying, this is extending a little further south than we thought it would. South of Interstate 40, Dimmitt, almost down to Lubbock at this point, with snow and winds over 55 to 60 miles an hour. We'll be here, and if needed, we'll be back with additional severe weather coverage. But for now, we'll return to the live Blizzard Storm Chaser feed.
Texas local storm report from 2 miles southwest of Hereford in Death Smith County, Texas. Blizzard. Reported by depth of highways.
As we start rolling into an evening.
Additional information. Both westbound us 60 and southbound
I know.
3
Where else?
and 85 coming out of Hereford are close.
Where is this thing right now? Like the whole scope. It's pretty much just here in Kansas. Like this isn't the heaviest part. It's all right here for now. So you never know. You never know. Ambulances behind me.
They are.
I'll let them go by if they want. Who knows if they're actually trying to get somewhere. I'll hold them up, that's for sure. They must be trying to follow them too. Yeah, white is the worst color vehicle to have right now. At least colors like black and blue make a shadow. White, not so much.
Snow covered at that.
Yeah. Yeesh. Ryan, the wind speed is probably sustained about 35, 40, occasional gusts over 50, 60. Most of the areas have reported top gusts in the low 60s, like 60 to 65, from what I've seen so far. There was an 80 mile an hour gust reported in southern Colorado. Yeah, every now and then you get a whiff of the natural gas mines or wells they got out here. Wind is just carrying it. It does stink.
Tornado warning for East Central Colorado County in southeastern Texas, North Central Wharton County in southeastern Texas, southeastern Austin County in southeastern Texas, western Fort Bend County in southeastern Texas. Until 0430 p.m. CST. At 0353 p.m. CST, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles southwest of Eagle Lake, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour.
Then I can de-ice the wipers.
Yes, is the magical super duper scary obnoxiously loud alarm, which I just turned off, demonstrated? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is back to spinny spinny doom doom time. We have a new tornado warning. This is with one of the storms west of Houston, so be near Eagle Lake to Sealy. This tornado warning does include Eagle Lake, Sealy, and Wallace. This is a tornado warning for eastern Colorado, northern Warden, southeastern Austin, and western Fort Bend counties in southeast Texas until 4:30 p.m. A severe thunderstorm most certainly capable of producing a tornado is about 6 miles southwest of Eagle Lake, moving northeast, east-northeast at 35 miles an hour. Clear, well-defined circulation with this thunderstorm southeast of Altair, moving towards Eagle Lake. Matthews, Lissy, Wallace, west of East Bernard, up to Sealy, you're in this tornado warning. That means you need to be lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is one of these storms on the leading edge of the cold front. As I described earlier, they are moving into a more suitable environment for tornado genesis, and indeed, it does appear they are trying to utilize the more favorable environment to become more severe, and that's why we have a tornado warning. So again, what you're looking at now is the which way the wind's blowing mode. This is a mode in the radar which is able to determine the direction and speed of motion. Using the radar down in South Houston, winds moving away at about 42, winds moving towards at about 15, so about 60 mile an hour rotational velocity couplet. Not a super strong signature. It was a little stronger last scam, but certainly capable of producing at least the possibility of a tornado. You remember earlier I was talking about surface temperatures with the storms further northeast, how those temperatures were in the 50s. Well, down here, temperatures are in the middle 70s. It's jet fuel to the stormies, and given the environment these storms are in, certainly need to be watched for the potential of severe weather, including the possibility of a tornado. And that's why, again, a tornado warning is now in effect for places like Eagle Lake, Wallace, and Sealy. Now, in all likelihood, this circulation, unless it takes a hard left, is going to stay south of Sealy. But those of you in Berkshire, this could eventually be an issue for you. We note this storm is the only tornado warning we have in the state of Texas now. And we're going to keep an eye on it. Couplet a little weaker than the last scan. The couplet being the area of rotation, where the red and green come together. We call that a couplet. And at this point, no other issues. We do see these storms in the Golden Triangle. Again, some strong winds. Okay. We are starting to see a bit of rotation now west of Sour Lake with this storm. No tornado warning at this point, but it is one of these storms that are all out by their lonesome and need to be watched. So again, Lumberton up to Boona. You may want to keep an eye out. Give me just a second. All right, I'm getting some extra stuff set up here. For most of the day, I haven't had to have more than one radar window open, but with that cell in the golden triangle, I'm opening up another window in my monitor cave of doom. We're aware of the possible gas explosion in Fort Worth, downtown Fort Worth, being covered in detail by DFW Scanner. All right, we've also, for what it's worth, I'm just looking, pretty nasty looking storm west of New Orleans. That could be an issue. And again, the severe weather issues, once they exit Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, they're going to be at it all night into Monday or into Tuesday morning. So again, we have a tornado warning. Eagle Lake, this storm capable of producing a spin-up tornado. Velocity couplet not as intense, which is good. And then we're also going to keep watching this storm now west of Rose Hill. Acres, west of Sour Lake, west of Lumberton. Starting to see a bit of a velocity signature try to develop. Nothing that looks imminent, though. So again, this is one of these storms that briefly showed a uptick in velocity, but it looks like that's coming back down again pretty quickly. And hopefully, if that trend continues, we'll be able to get rid of this warning sooner rather than later. But it is also entirely possible this storm cycles back up again. For what it's worth, tornado warning until 4:30 p.m. At 3:58 p.m., a possible tornado is located near Eagle Lake, moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. This thunderstorm is capable of also producing 60-mile-an-hour straight-line winds and quarter-size hail. And yes, preliminary reports for those of you out of Fort Worth, an explosion at the Sandman Signature Hotel in downtown Fort Worth, windows blown out, possible interior floor collapses, and MCI protocol, which is just mass casualty incident. That doesn't mean fatalities. That's just standard operating procedure for the EMS sector when there are possible multiple patients, which you would expect with windows that got blown out. So they're acting the triage system there. So, yeah. It's not a good time to be in Fort Worth. But no weather issues for Fort Worth in terms of severe weather or tornadoes, so we'll let our content partners at DFW Scanner handle that. We will continue on with the severe weather. You hear that, Jason? In terms of severe weather issues, again, nasty winds with this thunderstorm near Eagle Lake, moving east-northeast at 35 miles an hour. Honestly, it looks less impressive than it did when the warning was originally issued, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it. It's not something that looks like it is necessarily producing a strong long-track tornado right now, but we'll have to watch. And that is the only tornado warning we have. Storms that were earlier warned for tornadoes have moved up into a more stable low-level air mass. Hemphill storm itself has some mid-level rotation, but temperatures are in the 50s. It would take a very unusual situation for that to become tornadic. And then back down, Highway 59, some strong storms around Victoria with small hail, gusty winds. Where'd my phone go? All right, so we have one tornado warning. It's going to be for this thunderstorm near Eagle Lake. Honestly, it's just the velocity's not that impressive. Got a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Thunderstorm warning for southeastern Tyler County in southeastern Texas, Hardin County in southeastern Texas, southeastern
Severe
Jasper
thunderstorm
County
capable
in
of producing
southeastern
half-dollar
Texas.
size hail, winds
Until
of 60 miles an hour.
0:45 p.m.
Sour Lake
CST.
up to
At
Lumberton
0:04
and Buna, the
p.m.
potential for
CST,
60
a
plus
severe
mile an hour
thunderstorm
winds
was located
and
near
half-dollar
Saratoga,
size hail.
moving
At this point, there
northeast
is some
at 50
weak
miles
rotation
per
with
hour.
it. We'll keep an eye out on it just in case it intensifies, but for now, that is not a tornadic spinny doom doom issue. Back in Southeast Texas, farther west, storms rolling in from the west over the next hour to hour and a half. Some of those storms could be strong with damaging winds, hail, and can't totally rule out a spin-up tornado. But the tornado threat would have been higher with storms earlier if they had materialized that were ahead of this line. That being said, we can't rule out spin-up tornadoes. It looks like there's probably a tornado down west of New Orleans right now in Louisiana. That's where the more volatile environment's setting up for tonight. So at this point, we're really watching two storms. Severe storm west of Lumberton and tornado warning storm that's not looking so tornado-y right now near Eagle Lake. What this looks like is the line right there. It just looks like a lot of wind, not necessarily tornadic at this moment. All right, we'll go back, and then we've got a blizzard in the Panhandle, West Texas. In fact, we'll go back to the blizzard for a few minutes, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with another update on the severe weather.
Dumas, Texas. La 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 la. One final band is gonna come next. Partially blocked by the building. Where is the tornado warning? That is west of Houston. Oh, Eagle Lake. That's where we saw one last year. We had one across the road in front of us last year in January. Over by Eagle Lake. A little burn fire thing, but it was there. That's funny. Out there on that highway, nobody. You get into Dumas and it's like half normal traffic. Like what you see in a TV show. Front of a store side blows up. It'll let me edit the title. That must be the chunky band. Where are y'all going? Tornado warning. Still Eagle Lake. That's about 30-45 minutes west of Houston. Mary's the smart one, chilling over there in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Mike? How's it over by you in Kansas? Yeah, I've been driving. I can't believe it's 4 o'clock already.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Soon we're gonna have to think about the escape before dark. See, this band is kind of dissipating. See how transient they are? Watch. They're just, that's why those bands are, it's just how they behave. It's weird. They're like little ripples. That's why you'll get a localized dumping like 6 inches here, and then over here it's like 2. Just for
We could start making our way back home.
Yeah, we'll let this come through. Dissipate. Nothing is really sustaining solidly here, so all we gotta do is get to
Just go
this
home the way we
area.
can.
Yeah, just get to 287. 40 was supposedly a disaster. We can head down. I'm sure this is okay.
Yeah, I think it is.
Or we go through Borger to the Panhandle. I think we'll be fine with this stuff. Not worried
All the
about it.
maps tell us too. Road issues.
They got more down here in like near Hereford and Dimmitt. Like they got more, definitely overperformed down there. Up here, it's doing what it was supposed to.
Yes, but down there.
Down there,
Nope.
way
Nope.
overperformed.
That was an oops.
Hartley 4.7. Delaware. Our conditions are, believe it or not, somewhat improving here. The heavy band of snow we were driving through is starting to lessen up. Snow bands like this tend to be very transient, which is why I wanted to get over there quickly back. So honestly, by comparison, conditions will be improving.
NWS Amarillo just said, if you're thinking about driving out in the Panhandles today, please don't.
Well, you know.
It's your Baldy in Chief update as of 4:17 p.m. All tornado warnings have been canceled. No tornado warnings in Texas. We continue to monitor a severe thunderstorm northwest of Humberton. That may be our next candidate for spinny doom issues, but for now, storms west of the Houston Metro continue to behave as they move east at 50 to 60 miles per hour. We'll be back with updates as needed. Until then, we continue to monitor the blizzard ongoing in the Texas Panhandle with Al Lucio and Chelsea Burnett.
Tony, we're probably getting sustained 30, 25 to 30 right now. It's not super extreme. Well, we're getting gusts pushing 50. The strongest winds were earlier, and they're starting to subside a little bit as the system begins to pull away. Still pretty gusty up there in southwest Kansas, though. North at 40, gusts to 49. Our mesonet here is showing, well, north-northwest 46, gusts to 56. Probably because we're partially blocked by a building. He's on 45 miles, 40 winds. It's just stronger out in the open. But we're getting gusts 50 and above. We're kind of on the backside of the event now for this portion of the Panhandle. This is about to become mainly a Kansas, Missouri, Illinois show. The Panhandle show was always supposed to be a little bit, it was supposed to be intense, but kind of brief. You know, 4 to 6 hour ordeal, depending on where you are. There's more snow blowing than there is falling. And that makes a little bit of a difference. Except for this fire hose that's been down here by Hereford. Like,
They're getting it good, and it's almost like it's raining.
they're getting like pivot. Yeah, it's just a fire hose going around. Interesting to see a snow report out of Hereford. The herd tried to hit that with the wind, but not the snow. 52 in Houston, 52 in Dallas, 21 in Blizzard. Yep.
Texas doing Texas things.
That's right, Lorna. Texas covers a wide real estate.
A severe
All the
thunderstorm
seasons
warning
in
has
one
been
day.
issued for the Houston metropolitan area for wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. No tornadoes are
We'll be
expected.
making our exit play in the next probably 30 minutes or so.
Wow, Sarah Smiley, 7 to 11 inches is what you're forecasting.
For us, it's not going to get any worse. The worst is past for us.
The worst was about an hour ago, I think.
Yeah, it's going to stay like it is now or start to lighten up. So we'll be slowly making our exit moves here in the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. But I thank y'all for being here.
Much appreciated.
Hit that subscribe button, all the good stuff. Like button, subscribe button. I just appreciate it. Debbie with her $20 super chat earlier. Thank you so much for that. If you're still watching. Chunked one de-icing. There we go. I don't think you approved mine.
I just know because I'm in my IC. Well, I got the emails too. He seems happy.
Hey, you didn't approve mine. Punky.
Maybe it's because I messaged him about mine. Both of them. So it could be it because he's like, let me go see. So he manually checked. I have a nail file for you on it. It's small, but it's not kitchen.
Just do this. Thank you.
Just the Japanese. Any warnings?
There's a couple severes. I thought there was. Yeah, it was just a couple severes. Ouch. shows live, but it's not on my page. It was earlier. Strange. But people are still watching. Facebook be Facebooking. This is snow. Traveler Bowl channel. This is snow. The rate of snowfall is decreasing pretty quickly here. So we're pretty much just going to be left to deal with wind. Thank you all on Facebook who became subscribers. I see there's 6 of you, so thank you. Diana, Cindy, it says 4 others. Who else? Well, it's showing me old notifications in the same. So thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Karas. Sorry if I say your name wrong. Thank you for becoming a subscriber. We do things in there like forecast discussions, a little more in-depth, one-on-one type stuff. I post my chase targets in there. Other random things. I do surveys to help curate the content, etc., etc. Once in a while, I like to throw rewards, send out photos, things like that. So thank you. Boy, we've gotten into a little burst here all of a sudden. Feel it rocking. There's a convenience store at the intersection of the highways that sells all kinds of candy from the past. Do they have, gosh, what were they called? Oh, man. Tartan Tinies. Yes, if they had Tartan Tinies, I'd be busted in like the Kool-Aid Man. Those are so hard to find now. I used to love Tartan Tinies. Yeah, it is like a hurricane of snow. Similarly, this is what it looked like in the eye of Ida, or Adalia this year. Only it was 110 mile an hour winds and rain. Hey, that guy drove by earlier. He's just out having a good old time. Yeah, haven't even used a quarter tank of gas.
Felt like we have, but we've been driving 5 miles an hour. So
Yeah.
I feel like we've been traveling.
We just did like a 50-mile loop is all we did.
Yeah.
Just took us 5 hours to do it. So, for y'all on Facebook, how are you finding the live video? Is it showing up in your timelines, your feeds? I'm curious because I don't see it on my profile, and I've been having issues with Facebook distribution lately. So I'm curious. I'm glad y'all are here, but I'm curious how you're finding it. If anybody watching on Facebook could let me know. How'd you find it? Well, thank you for being here. Hit the like, hit the follow button. AccuWeather says it will be worse on Friday. Yeah, that system on Friday could be an even bigger whopper. Now, I haven't seen any of today's forecast data, but a couple days ago it was looking quite impressive, both on the snow and the severe side. A little bit more intense on this one. Yeah, this is the final push on this guy, on this piece. YouTube Live pop-up. Okay. Kate says scrolling and came upon it. Okay, good. That means it's showing up in the feed, which is what I want. Video just showed up on my feed. Thank you, Perlis. That's all I was wondering. When I go to my profile, it's not there. So strange, strange happenings. Like I see the live icon around my name, but there's no live video on my profile. So I'm like, where is it?
Oh yeah, on this, I can tell that. Yeah, you can't even see the stoplight.
Yeah, we're getting into that.
That was about a 5-minute change. Tornado watch for parts of Louisiana and Mississippi until 9 p.m.
Okay. Thank you all for being here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe and follow button if you wouldn't mind. It's always free. We appreciate the donations and support. Never mandatory, but it's free to like and follow.
For people watching on Facebook, for Facebook Chelsea Burnett, thank you all as well. I know some of y'all have been confused by the male presence. We're both streaming from the same vehicle, so we're streaming to multiple platforms for multiple pages, so thanks for being patient with that. Just happy to have you guys along. Some of y'all have been like, hey, thanks for the coverage.
We drive in the bad weather, so you don't have to.
There you go. I'm probably going to end mine shortly. It's been going, and we are in the final stages of this part of the snow, and then we're going to start heading back to Dallas.
Because this is just it's just slowly dissipating. It's not going to get any worse. I mean, I'll keep it running. As long as it's daylight, I'll probably keep it running.
Severe thunderstorm warning for northern Brazoria County in southeastern Texas, southeastern Harris County in southeastern Texas.
Thank you, Crystal. I'll wear that
until
badge.
5 p.m. CST.
I've been watching several
At
live
0432
channels
p.m.
today.
CST, a
Yeah,
severe
you should've seen it
thunderstorm
an
was
hour ago.
located over northeastern central southwest, or over a Stradome area,
There were
moving
some
east at
concerns.
50 miles
Just
per
say I'm glad
hour.
Adam was driving, because there would be no way. A whole lot of nope in me trying to drive in this. I drove in it on Thursday in the dark, and that wasn't good for me. But it wasn't a blizzard, it was just some snow. So people were saying in Amarillo's fine, like there's minimal snow.
That's the way it looks on radar.
Yeah.
It's all southwest of there by Hereford.
Yeah.
Or just there was a snow report. What was it?
There it is.
5 inches. It's underneath the name. Really? Only an inch and 10?
10.
Only an inch? There's gotta be more than that now. They just haven't updated it. That was like an hour ago. Yeah, it'll probably be going through Amarillo. We're just gonna take 287 down, or 87 down to Amarillo. And then slowly start heading back. Coverage will be over. It'll be getting dark in about a little over an hour. If I was to do this at night, we'd have a hotel. And I'd be staying in town, but this one wasn't meant to be an overnight. If it was a 2-day event, if there was more weather to go after tomorrow in the area, then yes. But where's my webcam? That doesn't need to be on. Thankfully, oops. Maybe OBS just turns it on automatically. Getting good gusts.
I know, I'm surprised.
You can see the direction of the wind shifted a little bit. It's more northerly now.
Normally,
It was a little bit more northwesterly. We're getting more northerly winds now, so we're feeling it. Russell says, I would not suggest coming to Clayton. I think y'all ended up with 11 inches over there in Clayton. But they closed the highway from Dalhart that goes up that way. I thought about it for a moment there, but then I saw they closed the highway. The last I saw, y'all had 11 inches of snow up there. It was only about 4 around here, but the blowing and the zero visibility makes it look worse. If this were a 2-foot blizzard, we would have to be prepared to be stranded here for at least one night. There's a big difference between a 4-inch blizzard and a foot blizzard. Big difference. You get those massive drifts when you start getting a foot or more.
This was a first for me. I've never chased anything like this before. So to have 2 snow events in a week is quite the way to start out the chase year. I'm chasing something I've never chased before at that. The first time was solo. I'm just glad for this portion I was with you because you know better than I do.
Sometimes.
With this.
Sometimes. Thank you, everybody, for following me on Facebook. I see the notifications saying so-and-so followed you, so-and-so followed you. Y'all are awesome. Greatly appreciate it. I do stream both here and YouTube during tornado season and all that. So this will not be the last. Hey Debbie, good to have you back. I did eat my delicious sub, so thank you for the super chat earlier. Houston will not be getting any of the snow, but you've got a squall line of thunderstorms. Pretty much about to move. I think you're under a severe thunderstorm warning now in Houston, but you're not going to be getting any of the snow, which, depending on whether or not you want the snow, it's a good or a bad thing. You're going to be dealing with some severe thunderstorms. Thankfully, they don't seem to be tornadic anymore. Excuse me. They might smell like cucumbers because it tasted like it. Huh?
Oh my god, cucumber day.
Thank you, Sam, for following along. Andreas, thank you.
But our cat is
Oh, yeah.
Severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Beauregard Parish in southwestern Louisiana, southeastern Tyler County in southeastern Texas, central Newton County in southeastern Texas, northeastern Hardin County in southeastern Texas, southeastern Jasper County in southeastern Texas. Until 0530 p.m. CST. At 0439 p.m. CST, a severe thunderstorm was located near Buna, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour.
Ooh, that was a nice little gust there. Man. Still pretty impressive. Those little bursts. UK is used to bad weather. Yeah, you guys get a lot of rain there. Dallas will not be getting any of this, Linda. ENG, that'd be nice. I don't think Chicago's going to see any thunder snow out of this one, unfortunately. Maybe the system at the end of the week. But Chicago is not going to get into the right part of this storm. for thunder snow. So anything could happen. I hope I'm wrong for your sake, but personally, I from what I've looked at, I don't see much potential for thunder snow in Chicago, unfortunately. Joanne from the UK, thank you for being here.
I guess.
I hope not. If somebody's stopped in the road in that white house,